learn the formal structure of how this works before you can get to the level of talking in a more colloquial way.
You might find this interesting. Aristotle, when he came up with the whole idea of rhetoric, you understand, Aristotle lived in what's called a true democracy, not a representative democracy, not a republic, but he lived in a true democracy. It was the voice of all people, it was mob rule, basically. Mm-hmm. So he thought it was important everyone learned the art of rhetoric and not just the criminals who could abuse it.
Yeah, exactly.
So everyone needed to learn that. Now that we live in a representative democracy, a republic, so to speak, now we just leave it up to those that are representative to make the arguments, and we don't analyze what they're saying anymore.
Now it's the art of name calling.
Well, yeah, but you have to do it with skill.
The Republican primary debates prove that.
So it's and I really
what's
think,
on the Democrat side?
Yeah, I really thank your wife for taking the time with the kids, and I wish we had more teachers like that.
Yeah, there are few and far in between, because just like you had said, that the teachers are worried about if they're going to have a job or not. That's how bad it's gotten, because the items within the administration of the school districts nowadays are rules and regulations are being used as a weapon.
Yep, and they're teaching our kids more and more just on how to get by, barely, and they're not really teaching them to think. I mean, really. I actually argued with a math teacher yesterday who says the journey of math isn't getting to the right answer. The journey is just getting to an answer.
Yeah.
And that's all that's important. I said, you've got to be kidding me. Math is a science. It's not an exercise in rhetoric. Yeah. It is something that can be proven by the scientific method. You can repeat it time and time again, right? So...
But if you use that philosophy of just getting to an answer, then the job that I do, every one of you folks would be in the jeopardy of dying.
Yeah, or anybody who works on aircraft.
Yeah.
Planes for fun. Yeah. Hey, Todd, I want to thank you very much. I got another caller here, but you have a blessed day, and thank you for calling.
Thank you. Take care. Bless you, too.
Okay, Walter. What can we do for you today? You want to talk about Donald Trump?
Walter, my man.
Hey, man, look, I'm going to hit it hard. I'm hitting straightforward. You ain't gonna question after I get to telling it like it is, you know. you know I stand, man, right?
I know exactly where you stand. I hear you often, but I still love you, man.
It's heaven and hell, nothing in between, black or white, nothing in between with me. My comments, I heard you guys talking earlier about these national radio talk show hosts trying to say, they about as wishy-washy as they come, as far as I'm concerned. Including Laura Ingham. I heard you mention her. They need to be talking about Donald Trump needs to cut back on the insults. Didn't I hear you guys say that?
Yes.
That's what Laura says.
That's what Laura said, yeah.
That's how he got to the top, man. People like us, let them clowns talk for themselves, They about as wishy-washy. I don't put my confidence and trust in them. I love it when he called that guy out recently, called him a sleaze bag, a sleaze bucket.
Yeah. But Walter, here's the thing. This is just my opinion. As time went on, I needed a little more than just insults, slogans, everything's going to be great. That doesn't cut it for me. And the flip-flopping on the transgender, and abortion, all this stuff, it makes me question character, which, to me, a major aspect of character is consistency of philosophy. And to dismiss all of that, is, to me, unexplainable. I can't understand how that can happen. And with national talk show hosts who do this for a living.
Can I ask you a question, Walter?
Yeah.
Now, you're obviously a Trump supporter. And matter of fact, I heard one of your calls, and I want to let you know that I don't read, what do you call it, the Bible of Rick James?
the Rick James Bible.
No, I'm a King James person. I'm a King James person all the way, and I'm the one who sits there, and I stand strong on Exodus 18:21 that those are the qualifications that the Bible gives us to actually select a leader. Matter of fact, it's the only passage in the Bible that actually directly talks about selecting a leader, and those are the standards I go by. But with that in mind, if the man you support, are you willing to stand by your ideals even when the man you support is against them? And to me, that's the important question.
Hey, man, you guys hit it right on the head. Yeah, we cannot, we cannot throw out the social issues, And that's like what you said earlier. That is one of the reasons we pick our candidates. That is one of the main reasons, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if that be the case, if there's so much division among us voters, yet, you know, there's division, and there's a lot of our voters that will vote Republican and conservative can't stand Christians.
You know what?
I mean,
I'll tell you right now, and if I ever get a chance to come back and do this show, I would love to talk about this. You don't know how many times a day where I hear that the government needs to start taxing churches. And I would love to hear some comments from people who want to insist on that, because I would show them that the taxation of a church would indeed create a state church. And I can directly make that argument. Which is why we don't put the government in charge of taxing the church, because next thing you know, they become a major player in the political, much more than now. Imagine the Catholic Church putting a lot of money into the political coffers all of a sudden. We'd end up with a state church. Well, I want to thank you for Walter. We're getting close to wrapping it up here. I'm going to get some final thoughts of the guys here, but hey, thank you for calling.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, Walter.
Real quick, Walter probably is a lot like me. When he says that he likes to hear Donald Trump tell it like it is, that's the reason, one of the reasons. George Bush, I voted for him. I wanted him to succeed, and he did succeed, except in one area. He would not defend his principles. And we're out there defending.
He allowed others to define him.
Yeah, he let others define him, and he let us defend him, and he was very hard to defend when he
Here's
had
the problem
Clinton hanging on this shoulder.
I see Trump supporters defining what Trump's going to do without hearing it from Trump.
Yeah.
If Trump gets elected, hopefully he'll come to this understanding. If Trump gets elected, he will come around to this. Well, I'm sure Trump will do this if he's elected. You know, we don't hear any of this from the candidate.
But I believe that, like I said, we can babysit him and get what we want him to do.
Who wants to
Babysit him just like
him?
Rick Snyder.
Yeah.
We can't even do it at the state level.
I know it, but
There's no way.
Rick Snyder is not the same type of
You mean a rich
I'm not going to say
businessman?
conservative. I'm not going to say he's a
It's
rich
not the same type of
businessman.
rich.
But what I'm saying is he is an apologist. He's similar to George Bush. That's where I'm coming from.
When we say Donald Trump tells it like it is, even
When he tells it like it is, he
Laura
changes.
Ingraham comes out and says he's void of substance and
Yeah.
needs to start figuring out what he's about and communicate it. So when we say he tells it like it is, it goes, to me, you have to, more than insults, more than brashness, to tell it like
I
it is
agree.
what you're about. And even Laura Ingraham, who does this for a living and supports him, is saying that he's not communicating what he's about. So how can he be telling
On
it like
that
it
note,
is?
gentlemen-
How can he be telling it like
Yeah.
it is when he won't communicate what he's about?
On that note, gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. And if Gary's listening, Gary, forgive me. I hope I didn't drive away all your listeners. Love you anyways. And if you ever need me back, please feel free to give me a call. You all have a blessed day.